Himanshu Srivastava. He's a senior research analyst with Morningstar, and it's a regular feature as well that we do have on the show. Himanshu, good afternoon. As always, pleasure having you with us on Markets at Lunch. 2018, the trend has turned. I mean, we do have FIs turning net sellers in the Indian equities, and for the first time in many years. What is it, according to you, that's causing FIs to adopt this cautious stance towards Indian equities? And I think it's not just limited to Indian equities, but EMs in general. I mean, we have spoken about volatility in crude prices, but what else is something that has caused FIs to, on a net basis, press the sell button?
Yes, you're right. I think FIs have been adopting a cautious stance over India for a long time now. It's something that we have seen in 2018, especially towards the second half of 2018, when there were a lot of net outflows from FIs. A lot of domestic factors are also working here. You know, on the domestic side, we have seen crude prices going up, currency depreciating, and that is something that has actually impacted the macro environment of the country, wherein FIs are not very sure as to where the economy is headed. We have seen some bit of an improvement on the economic side, but then the sustainability of it over the long term is still a question that is there in the minds of foreign investors. So I think that is where that is holding them back, and obviously the global factors are not really supporting too much of entry into the emerging market space. There has been a risk aversion kind of a situation. In such a situation, normally FIs tend to flee from emerging markets, which are considered to be riskier compared to the developed markets, and that is what we have seen in 2018 so far. 2018. January, again, we are seeing FIs not coming to the Indian market. They are net sellers, but again, it's too early to draw any meaningful conclusion out there. There are certain worries. Obviously, we have general elections coming up. Then it's not very clear as to the government policy approach that they would take before the elections. We have budget coming in. Then the economic scenario is still uncertain. So I think these factors along with the global factors is not auguring well for the Indian market, and that is where we are seeing them not really coming out in with full conviction as we have seen them in the past, maybe last year, that is 2017.
Himanshu, you just mentioned that towards the end of 2018, for a month or two, we did see FIIs become buyers very briefly. So given how Jan is panning out so far, were those 2 months just an aberration or a one-off, or are we likely to witness pain with regard to FII flows even this year as well? What is it that your observations are indicating?
So I think that this trend will continue. There will be some months where they will come and invest, there will be net buyers, and in some months they will be net sellers. The thing is, what we have tracked so far, FIs are actually tracking this short-term news, short-term improvement in macroeconomic scenario, and the flows are actually chasing those. It's not kind of a long-term trend that they are seeing, and something that we have seen in November and December. There was slight improvement in the macro situation. There was a slight improvement in the way the underlying factors were moving, and that is when we have seen them coming again and investing into India. Again, there could be a bit of a tactical play wherein there have been interim corrections in the market in the month of December, and rupee continued to be at depreciated levels, would have actually provided them a good entry point into the Indian markets. I think this is the trend that will continue. Given the short-term events which are driving the flows from FIIs, they can turn positive, they can turn negative very frequently. And I think that's the trend will continue. There will be a bit of a volatility in the FII flows. And coming to 2019, whether it will be a positive or negative is too early to comment on. We are just 14-15 days into the first month of the year. I think it will be more of a range bound, unless until there is more clarity or concrete signs of on the factors which are driving flows. I think this trend will continue. You will see FIs coming and investing in some months. You will see them moving out in certain months. So there will be infrequent flows for the next few months. That is what I can make from here.
All right. So short-term events is something that will drive FII flow. So what kind of events should we watch out for? Because we have lots going on. Crude has been moving up and down almost every single day. We do have the currency volatility as well, 71, and then of course elections. So are these the kind of events that FIIs are going to be looking out for?
In fact, a mix of all. What is happening on the domestic side and as well as on the global side. How the U.S. Fed takes an approach towards interest rates. What is happening on the economic side in the U.S. The U.S. trade war, compare again along with the domestic reasons what we have mentioned just now. So I think it's a mix of factors that will drive the flows. It's not just one factor that will propel or guide FI flow into India, but some of the major factors on the domestic side that I would like to highlight that will be definitely on the minds of FIs is obviously the sustainability of the economic growth, formation of a stable government in the center, and in the interim what kind of an approach or a policy approach the government takes till they lead into the election. I think and obviously the budget is coming. So these are some of the four factors on the domestic side that will definitely help FI understand as to where the country is headed and what are the short-term impacts that it will have on the economy, and that will help them drive or make a decision as to how much they want to invest in India.
Back in crude prices, stable currency, stable government, you think these factors are, will ensure that FI flows are once again back into the country?
Yes, I think these are some of the factors that will definitely help FI coming back and have a relook at India and gain conviction, obviously. And obviously the macroeconomic environment, the economic growth is something that they would be looking forward to.
Okay, all right, Himanshu, we'll leave it at that. Thanks so much then for joining in, giving us a perspective on what exactly the flows were like for 2018.